Hello everyone, it is Jonathan, and today I'm ranking all 3 seasons of The Flash that have aired on the CW so far. Feel free to give your own ranking in the comments down below, and just be aware of spoilers from the first 3 seasons. Now I have to admit, I was not the biggest fan of the Flash character, but after watching the show, he's one of my favorite superheroes. Personally, I don't believe the Flash has had a bad season, so my ranking in this video is on the scale of good to best instead of worst to best, and with that being said, let's begin. At number 3 is Season 2. Coming fresh off the success of Season 1, Season 2 started off slow to me, but it picked up once Zoom entered the picture. I loved it when in their first fight together, Zoom just overpowers Barry and then proceeds to take him around the city in a humiliating fashion, and I appreciated the show for implementing different things throughout the season, such as the multiverse, the introduction of Wally West, and the real Jay Garrick, as well as the return of the Reverse Flash for an episode. Finding out that the fake Jay Garrick's real name is Hunter Zolomon and that he is Zoom was a nice plot twist, but I was expecting it because I have some knowledge of the comics, and while I didn't find any issues with his character motivation, Zoom reminded me of Anakin Skywalker from Revenge of the Sith because both of them wanted to be conquerors of their respective universes. As far as Barry's character is concerned, Grant Gustin displayed his full acting range when we see Barry go from being optimistic about defeating Zoom after being in the Speed Force to a vengeful man after Zoom murders his father right in front of him. Even after he defeats Zoom and finally kisses Iris, he still goes back in time to prevent his mother's death. At that point in the series, Barry was the most relatable to me, and I was left with excitement and anticipation for how he was going to evolve as a character in the future. Overall, the Flash's sophomore season did not disappoint me. In second place is the most recent season of the show. Season 3 started off with Flashpoint, and I was hoping it would be longer than just one episode, but I still enjoyed seeing the moment of Barry realizing that things were screwed up when he reset the timeline. As far as Alchemy is concerned, I didn't think that much of him as a villain until I realized that he was Julian and that Savitar was using him. Once again, I love seeing the Flash being overwhelmed by a villain, this time in Savitar, and I was blown away by how fast I saw him drag Barry across the city. Going into the second half of the season, I appreciated that after Barry accidentally goes into the future and witnesses Savitar killing Iris, the show's plot stays focused on his mission to prevent that from happening. Even when there are episodes that feature Gorilla City and the crossover with Supergirl, they're still relevant to the journey Barry goes through to change what's coming, and I can't forget to mention when Wally becomes Kid Flash and when Caitlin becomes Killer Frost. I've been waiting to see those moments since the beginning of the show, and honestly, it was epic to see them finally happen. Also, the episode that comes after that, the one to feature Flash, is easily my favorite of the season because it showed just how bad things could get if Iris died, and I was a bit surprised when Savitar was revealed to be a future version of Barry Allen, but I like that the showrunners went that direction because it ties into the season's theme of Barry dealing with the consequences of his actions. But what needs to be talked about is when Savitar kills Iris only to find that HR switched places with her. Tom Cavanaugh has played 3 different versions of Harrison Wells at this point, and he has done a fantastic job of making each version unique. And HR Sacrifice gave his character more validation beyond being the comedic relief. Then in the last fight against Savitar, I enjoyed the chase scene with all the speedsters, along with Killer Frost becoming like Caitlin again, which leaves me curious to where the producers will take her character in Season 4. After seeing Barry go into the Speed Force to accept his punishment for creating Flashpoint, I am excited to see some form of the Flash Rebirth storyline in the future. Season 3 is arguably the show's most emotional, and Barry's growth as a superhero and person ultimately led me to its placement above Season 2. At number 1 is the first season. I have nothing to complain about with this one because it did a lot of things right. We are introduced to the main cast and see the personality traits that they carry throughout the course of the show, and I am appreciative that the relationships between the characters felt genuine and that the love triangle between Eddie, Iris, and Barry wasn't portrayed like a soap opera. In this season, Barry learns how to use his powers and what it takes to be a hero. But it was also fun seeing him do everything for the first time, and we have an excellent villain in the Reverse Flash. The whole mystery of who is Harrison Wells and finding out that he is really Eobard Thawne from the future kept me tuning into the show every week to see what was going to happen next. Also, the Reverse Flash fight scenes versus the Flash were far more entertaining than the Zoom and Savitar fight scenes, particularly the ones where Barry fought the Reverse Flash for the first time in that football stadium, and when he teamed up with the Arrow and Firestorm to apprehend the Reverse Flash toward the end of the season. But General Eiling also deserves an honorable mention as an antagonist because he did create some problems for Team Flash until he became Gorilla Grodd's puppet. However, a particular moment that happens in the season finale is what I found to be the highlight of the season. Barry goes back in time and he is given the chance to save his mother, but he doesn't after his future self warns him against it, when at the end of season 2 he does the exact opposite. And just like how the entire season was suspenseful, the cliffhanger ending was complimentary. Because this season was the most balanced in all areas, it is easily the best. And that is my list of the Flash seasons from good to best. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with anybody you know who watches the show. Thank you all so much for watching, and next week on the channel I'll be posting my non-spoiler review of Transformers The Last Knight, and the next ranking video I'll be making will be of the Star Wars movies, so be sure to go to the description down below to find the links to my social media profiles. Have a great day.